We're shaking, people. Back with another reaction, back with some more trance. And we're back with the other side of Sussex, or Marc Scoozy, real name Markus Pfirmann, and his release on Paradogs, Paradogs 17. The track we're going to listen to this time is Trance Atlantique. I mentioned this at the end of my reaction to Sabotage. I think this is actually the superior tune, even though I had never heard it when I ordered this record through Discogs, because I was trying to track down Sabotage, which, as I mentioned in that reaction, turned out to be a more multi-chapter story than I realized when I was looking for the record. But yeah, as I said, when I got it, I came to think that this track is actually the superior one on the vinyl, not only because I think it's more cohesive and coherent in terms of the atmosphere it's trying to give, whereas Sabotage, as I said, is a real Janus-faced, lopsided type of tune. Nevertheless, this track has, as I said in that reaction, a very tribal acid trance kind of feel. It has big drums, big tribal sort of drums, which dominate the first, 60% of the tune, and they continue throughout the rest of the tune, but the acid comes in and makes a big impact in the final third of the track. So let's get it. This is Sussex. The tune is Trance Atlantique, and it's on the 1997 Paradogs record, Paradogs 17. Eventually. It's funny with that little rolling drum rhythm. It's like my brain can hear it with the kick or independent of the kick, and it's sort of, I can just flip back and forth. I don't know if that just comes from listening to a lot of electronic music over time, or whether it's, people can detach sounds like that, but it's weird the way my brain can just flip it. But again, very percussive, very drum-driven. Somewhat evaporative, melodic hints, just touches. Vocal, giving it even more of a tribal style feel. kick and bass line sounding nice after that cleanup. It's like a reverse hat. That bass line is like... It's 97, it almost feels like very, very early hardstyle bass line or something. So we'll do the same thing we did last time, but now with acid. Outdoor trance, but not necessarily nighttime. This could be like mid-afternoon, like desert or forest party. Acid shot up to the stars real quick. That's such a heavy, relentless rhythm. It's like if Stomp made an acid trance tune, or in Southern California in the 90s, there was this group of drummers that would live drum to trance sets, particularly with a couple of DJs, Huggy, Hector Morita in particular. They were called the Vector Tribe. I feel like Vector Tribe drummers would have been like, what do we even do? Like, what we would normally do is already being done on this track. It was cool though. I saw them perform with, I think, Huggy a couple times. But admittedly, it's one of those things where, like, you know, sometimes there are moments in tracks where you want it just to be the track. 90s ravers, this wasn't always an issue, but there were some parties where there'd be a lot of people with whistles doing the, like, beep, 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 and it's like, alright, but, like, you know, at some point, I'm here to hear the tune, not someone blowing a whistle, like, 1 inch away from my head. But still, yeah, it's a really cool tune which has a very live drum tribal sort of feel. So yeah, I actually do prefer that on this record compared to Sabotage, which is a really cool tune if, you know, one that's sort of out on its own island somewhere. But yeah, it's one of those things where I don't know Scoozy's work nearly as well as a lot of other acid trance producers from the 90s, but the handful of tunes I do know from him, several of which I have, which, you know, again, Paranoia, maybe that's my favorite, maybe this one is actually my favorite. But yeah, either way, a cool producer whose output, you know, I never pursued as much as some others, but I do respect the mid-90s acid/hard trance flavor that he was bringing, especially on a tune like this, as well as, like I said, Paranoia. Anyway, let me know what you think of this one. I will see you next time. Peace.